Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In the last episode you saw we disassembled the whole back half of this Ford. Still need to take that gas tank out. I don't want it in my way when I'm working under here. We still have to put in some notches, mock up a 3-link, and finish welding up this axle housing. In the last video you could see us get the axle housing out, prep it, cut it, and get it ready for where we're at now. So we'll keep moving forward. We want to go ahead and get this tacked up so we can fully weld it. And before we tack everything up, we need to get that pinion angle set to where it's at, where we want it. And I can go ahead and get the caliper mounts where I want them. So far, so good. It's coming out nicely. We've got the root pass in. Let's see if it'll focus on it. But the root pass is in all the way around. You can't do it in one continuous pass. You have to do it in 4. Oh, there we go. There's instructions online and everywhere you do them. You want to do almost like a plus, top, bottom, left and right, but you do it top, bottom, left, right, and then you spin it and you do these 2, go over there, do those 2, come back, close that square up or close that weld up. But we'll keep getting to it. I don't want it to cool down. Since we're waiting for this whole thing to naturally cool, no fans on it or anything, I just turned that one on to get a little bit of circulation. But while we're waiting for that to naturally cool down, we'll take the factory bump stops out. We'll take the factory emergency brake cable out. I'm gonna disassemble it right here. That way the cables can get tossed. And then once this cools and we take the jig out, I want to get everything set up and start mocking it up for the notch. Figure out what we're notching and where we're notching and how much. I've already got the math done. I already know basically how much that lip needs to be off the ground. And I know where the axle, center of the height of the axle needs to be off the ground to mock up its potential ride height. Now that I have it kind of in place, it is centered this way, but I need to bring it forward more and set that drive shaft in place just to kind of set it. And then I need to square this up and mark where it needs to be center of that height. It needs to go up another inch for the ride height. So we're gonna take it up to that spot there. I'm gonna cut off this plate because I'm gonna weld on my own notch and plate. Haven't decided, I might go ahead and box in the front, the back side as well to make it a little stronger for them. These rivets from Ford back in the 90s sure ain't playing. All right, so far we've got the heads popped off. Haven't been able to pop them through yet, but we started to get this plate off of there because I need all the room I can get in there. We're gonna go ahead and put a notch on there. Once we get these plates off, we can go ahead and start drawing that up and designing that. It's gonna be an under bed notch for this style. It's not gonna be the slip-on style that everyone else gets. As you can see, the hump's already there. So if you go to slip a notch on that, your bed's gonna sit higher than it should. So I'm gonna create something. It's gonna be an under bed notch, like a C notch, because I don't have to go but halfway up that. With the lip, it's 6 inches. I need to go up 1 inch. I'll give 2 inches for clearance. So we'll go up to that oval hole in the center. The bottom of that is 3 inches. If I go to the top of it, it's either 1 inch or 3/4 of an inch. So I'm not sure, depending on how much I brace it off, I may go up to the top of that oval hole or I may go to the bottom. That's gonna be it for tonight. We're gonna get back on it first thing in the morning. Now that the frame is stripped of the stuff I didn't want, that plate, there was no reason for that plate to be on there. If I'm gonna put on my own notch and weld it on, and then I'm possibly gonna be plating the inside, so that should definitely be a lot more structural than that little plate there. Also took off the factory shock mounts that were giving me a fight till the end, but that's okay. I got them. Just drill them out, and they'll tap right out. So next we'll go ahead and get started on making the template for that notch. Then we'll go inside, draw it up on Fusion, and start getting it in. this is what we came up with. You saw me draw and cut it out. It's gonna sit pretty much like this. It's actually higher than that because I need to account for the material that's gonna be sitting here. So that's how it's gonna be. We're gonna notch it. I'm gonna go ahead and only do 2, but we're gonna box in the inside, but they're gonna be bigger and different as the shape of the inside is different. I'm gonna go above that lip and go flush with the bottom. We'll cut that lip off, but we're gonna do these 2 pieces because the next pieces, we have to do a bridge bar. That's gonna go at the highest point possible. Ugh. On the table with my back. It's gonna go, right here is a support bed. You can see the line. I want it to go in here. So it'll probably have to be cut down half moon. And then I'll make a little tab that comes up. But the inside plate that we make, I would like it to have a hole in it. So it's all kind of one piece. I'll show you as I go, but I got an idea how this is all gonna go. So let's go ahead and go inside and draw this up. This is what I've come up with so far. Let me move it around and show you. The left is gonna be your back side. Let's see right here, you can see it. I'll get it down right here. So the notch is gonna have the built-in support where I'm gonna weld the support rod or the bridge bar. That way it'll have extra support, and then the inside ones, the bar will go through. So just like you would a notch, it's gonna go through the inside, but I also have it set up big enough right here where I can go ahead and weld that in, and I'm gonna box in that too once it's welded. So we're gonna have a lot of extra support. And then right here, there's room for the bed support bar. This should clear underneath the bed about a 1/4 inch right here. So let's go ahead and get this cut out on the table and test fit it. Now that we have almost all the pieces to the puzzle, we still need the insides. And the insides, I'm gonna modify that template. And the inside's also gonna have this hole taken out of it. So when this is my mock-up piece, so I don't have to cut into the full size because all the bridge bars are all the same. But it's gonna have a ring so that it can go inside of it, because the bridge bar that's going to be holding the top of the coilovers is going to sit somewhere like this, and it's going to be notched only for the part that it sits on top of the frame. So I'm not exactly sure which one I want to set up to line up first. Right now we're going to, I guess I'll go ahead and mock up the actual bridge bar piece where we can kind of get it set into place. Go ahead and grab it over here out of this pile of parts. Do this guy right here. So we need to do some chopping to it and get it ready for mock-up. As you see, we'll have to notch like the bottom half of it. It won't take but a second. We'll get that. I need to clean up the frame, knock down all that rust that's going to be under the plate on both sides, and then we'll start the process. It's easier to do than talk about. It's all in my head and just, yeah. I have these plates where I want them. So I'm gonna add 4 tacks one on each corner on both sides. I'm not gonna tack in that bar yet because I need to go ahead and start doing the template for the inside piece. This thing's coming along, one piece at a time. It's looking good. We'll fill that gap right there with a piece. Bottom won't matter, as the plates will go in there and box that in, and I'm gonna have a piece on the inside, and it's gonna be just like a slip-on notch, but it's built on, a built-on notch. So like I said, we'll get the welder out, we'll tack that up, and keep moving forward. I wanna get this notch knocked out today. Then we can start working on the link bars and the cross member in the front. As you saw, this one's cut out. We'll go ahead and set this one in place and make sure it works before we cut the other one. That way, if this one doesn't work, that's only one going to the scrap pile, not two. Mistakes happen, but we've been getting I've been getting pretty good at drawing things and then working out with not much, if maybe a 1/16 of error that I can work with, if there is any. The fitment of everything is coming out really well. I also, as you saw, made those odd plates. This will get pushed in a little more. It'll have more of a lip, just like this one. And then it needed something back here. So there's a square plate going all the way. Get this guy out of the way. All the way back to the corners. I'm gonna clean all that up and we'll give it some good welds. But as of all this, it's ready to get cleaned up and it's ready to start burning some of it in. Both sides. I did go ahead and you saw I trimmed a little bit here instead of the plate coming here. That way it's more straight. It was going outward and I didn't like the way that was. We will put one more filler here once we get everything tacked into place. I'll get everything cleaned up, tacked into place, and then we'll make those last fillers that are gonna go into there. And then we can continue. I believe we will weld up the outsides. After everything's tacked up, we'll weld up just the outsides solid. And then we'll go ahead and cut out the center. All that piece right there in the center will be cut out. That plate there, I'll be cutting some of it. As you can see, it sits past that lip, but that's not a problem. You can make that work. Next time, I'll just get the measurement, and then next time I'll draw that smaller. All right, if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications, that way you get notified when this one's done. There's gonna be one more video after this one. We still got some more to do, but this one's gonna be over at 45 minutes to 46 minutes, somewhere in there. And then the final one of it getting complete will be in the next video. So let's see how much we can get done in this video before the time runs out. Got everything all cleaned up that I'm gonna weld to. We'll go ahead and start setting everything in place. I have to weld these inner pieces in first, but I gotta set everything up to make sure they're in the right place. So we'll go ahead and set the camera back up again, and we'll get started. Almost all of it tacked in. I had to weld that plate and everything in before we put the notch in. The same with that plate back there. I had to weld it all in. Everything behind there, it's welded in. Before we cut this out, I'm going to weld that spot all the way. So right before it stops right there. And then we're gonna weld down here and down in there before we cut that section out. I still need to, and I might just go ahead and go draw it up now. I want to make a filler for this top piece. It won't be so hard. It'll just sit from there. It'll sit there. We'll run a pass here and a pass here, and we'll box this in. This will get welded. They'll both, once this plate's here, I'm going to actually take another plate and bend it, and it's going to go from here over this, but we're going to weld this in and around here and down here on both sides before we cover it. And I think it'll be stout enough. Getting so close. It's really exciting. This is something I've created off the top of my head after looking at other designs and other ideas, maybe combining a bolt-on notch, which actually is going to be a weld-on, all kinds of stuff. This is very, very, what's the word? I don't know. It makes me feel good. It's very satisfying. All right, we got these all welded up. We're going to draw out this piece, this filler. Once we get these fillers tacked in, then we'll weld that filler, and do do the same thing for the opposite side. Then we can go ahead and cut out the notches, and we can plate them, weld them up. Then we'll put the covers on, and the notches are done. We can move on to getting the 3-link, mocked up. I don't know if I'm gonna build a cross member or just beef up the one that's there, but we'll play it by ear. Had to put on some exhaust covers. They got me. Nice, scraped some skin, but we just covered them and kept moving forward. That's the second time they got me, and that's my fault for not covering them. All right, let's see. Maybe once we get this notch done, we'll probably move on to get that rear end back together. The axles should be here tomorrow. If they are here, then we'll be able to get that back together, get the axle in place where we want it, and then start mocking up the link setup. Hey, reminder, if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. That way you get notified when the next video comes out. The next video is going to be the last video. But we're going to finish up this notch in this video. Once this notch is done, then that'll be it for this one. So let's get it finished. Next up, I'll weld up these upper fillers. We'll get this one welded in, and then we'll get that one over there welded in. Then we'll cut out there and there, like I've been saying, and then we'll do that filler. Inside, we'll do all 3 fillers. When we weld, we'll get them all tacked in, and then we'll weld this guy, we'll weld these up, all of them solid, and then we'll build the little bridge cap for that. And then the notch will be complete. All right, look at that, fully welded. Everything except for the bottom, I have to weld underneath. That one I have to weld the back of this one. And then those 2 pieces there. And then we still need to cap this right here. It's gonna go from here over this and then to the end right there where it's flush. Then that'll be capped off in 1 piece. But I'm really liking how it's coming out so far. We're almost completely done with this notch. Like I said, we still just need to do underneath there and back here. I was able to get around each side because there's that lip down there. All right. Well, that's gonna be it for this video. This one's running nice and long. I like them a little longer, but that's gonna be it. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching.